Today we celebrate the Fenway Trojans' 50th anniversary of the 1971 state championship and the honor of head coach Woody Curtis. Not only do we celebrate these amazing accomplishments, but we honor the legacy each of you helped to establish at Fenway High and this tremendous community. With your achievements, you provided the groundwork for the tradition of excellence and what it means to be a Trojan. Your intense passion to succeed as a team, competing for not only yourself, your family, but for also your teammates and coaches. Your championship was built on hard work, enjoyment, and commitment to excel. You simply love to compete, especially during tournament time. Coach Curlis, Coach Boyer taught life lessons through athletics by building a foundation of success, not only on the baseball diamond, but for life after graduation. From your legacy, each of these current and future Trojans are beneficiaries of a rich and living tradition forged by the efforts of you and each athlete that has ever walked the halls of Fenway High and proudly worn the blue and gold. We continue to build on your tradition through our facilities, performance, and character, both on and off the field of play. Each of you helped develop our culture of champions, and we celebrate the legacy you have established. Once a Trojan, always a Trojan. Under Coach Curlis, from 1969 season through the 1978 season, you provided a foundation of excellence by earning 174 wins, including 3 consecutive state Final Four appearances, 5 regional championships, 6 district titles, 7 sectional championships, and 5 Buckeye Conference championships. In 1970, state semifinal, 1971, state championship, 1972, state runner-up, 1976, state semifinal, 1977, state semifinal. From 1970 through the 1972 season, going 21-2 in tournament play. The Trojan legacy amassed a 43-9 record in the postseason during this 10-year period. With 29 consecutive wins in 1976, with the lone setback in the state semifinal game, of which is still the winningest Fenway team in any sport. Coach Curlis, you are a beloved teacher and coach at Fenway High School, and highly regarded by your players and this community. At this time, will you please direct your attention behind you at the baseball concession stand, where members of the Curlis family, including Tyler Curlis, who is following in your footsteps as an assistant coach for Fenway High, and grandson, Mr. Woody Curlis, help me to recognize Coach Woody Curlis for his success and dedication to Fenway athletics and Trojans baseball as we unveil the Arvin Woody Curlis Field in your honor. Coach Curlis and players, thank you for building a foundation for Fenway Trojans baseball. At this time, I'd like to introduce a Fenway Trojans alum and our Fenway Mayor, Mayor Murray, who would like to recognize the legacy of Fenway baseball and Coach Woody Curlis.
sports, and certainly America's sport, baseball today. To celebrate and enjoy as a community is certainly something that brings us together, and it's wonderful to be able to celebrate today. So it's my pleasure to present a proclamation in recognition of 50th anniversary of the 1971 Findlay High School State Baseball Championship team. Whereas Coach Arvin Woody Curlis compiled a record of 174 wins, 54 losses, and 1 tie while serving as the head baseball coach at Findlay High School during his 10-year career from 1969 to 1978. And whereas 5 of Coach Curlis' teams advanced to the OHSAA State Final Four, and whereas the 1970, 1971, and 1972 Trojans baseball teams made 3 consecutive appearances in the OHSAA State Final Four and compiled a tournament record of 21-2. And whereas the 1971 Trojans defeated Marion Harding in the sectional championship, Lima Senior in the district championship, and Columbus Eastmore in the regional championship to advance to the 1971 OHSAA State Baseball Final Four. And whereas on June 5th, 1971, the Trojans defeated Kettering Fairmont East 8-6 in 8 innings to win the AAA state title. And whereas on Thursday, May 13th, 2021, the Findlay High School Trojans and the Findlay community celebrate the 50th anniversary of the 1971 State Baseball Championship and recognize this occasion by the naming the Findlay High School baseball field after head coach Arvin Woody Curlis. Now therefore, I, Christina M. Murr, Mayor of the City of Findlay, Ohio, do hereby proclaim May 13th, 2021 as the 50th anniversary of the 1971 Findlay High School State Baseball Championship team in Findlay, Ohio, and invite all citizens to join with us in commemorating the 1971 Findlay High School baseball team for their outstanding achievement in winning the state baseball championship 50 years ago. Please join me in congratulating the team and recognizing their achievement and dedication to our community, both then, now, and into the future. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. We all truly appreciate you being here to celebrate this community of Trojans and your continued support of Findlay Athletics. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to welcome another Findlay alum to Findlay High School head coach, Mr. Ron Amos.
I see all my heroes up there. Every one of them. Isn't it great to have a freshman baseball game going in the background? Coach Curlis, I see you craning your neck to see what's going on now. That's your team. Welcome back, Coach Curlis, members of the Curlis family, and members of the great 1971 Trojans team. Also, welcome to the former Trojans players who are here. Would you please raise your hand in the crowd if you play Trojan baseball? Raise your hands high, Trojans. Several members of the great 1976 team that went 29-1 are also in attendance. I would hope that another event may be held in a few years to recognize the accomplishments of the guys who played on the 76 and 77 teams. Woody, this field was only about 5 years old when you began your coaching career. Do you remember that? There was the backstop, seemed like it was a mile away. The dugouts, vast open spaces with no fencing. Backstop, dugouts, and that was it. The baseball that was played here, however, was spectacular. I would let the coach expound on those days, but we have a 6:30 game tonight, Coach. You guys know what I mean. Coach, the 2021 Trojans are also here to honor you and to hopefully gain a further appreciation from those who preceded them. I have shared a few of the old stories, but not the good ones. We keep those between us, Coach. Hopefully one day these young players will be mentioned among the memorable Trojans. Thanks again to all in attendance, to all who assisted in the Findlay High School athletic department, and to all who reminded me that this day must happen. When I ran into Todd Curlis, where are you, Todd? I told you I was going to single you out. When I ran into Todd last year, he said, "Ron, I hear that you are now the Trojans baseball coach. When are you going to name the field after my dad?" I said, let me get into school and get a little work done first here, Todd. But that subtle comment provided the most impetus for this great day. Thanks to all of you, and go Trojans. I now give way to Mr. Terry Moore, who was an infielder and a captain for the 71 Trojans. On a historical note, which I love history, Terry's father, Bob Moore, was a star for the Trojans' 1948 state basketball championship team. And to me, that's magnificent. Terry Moore.
Thanks, Ron. I would like to thank Coach Ron Evans and Coach Jim Ruckey for their hard work in making this day happen. Since Ron became the head coach at Findlay, he has made it a mission for the field dedication and the team recognition ceremony to become a reality. It is fantastic that they are able to have it together. I'd also like to thank Findlay Athletic Director Nate Mcguire and the Findlay Board of Education for making this day possible. Also, I'd like to thank Dave Kahneman and the Courier for their coverage in yesterday's paper. And finally, I need to thank my mom. She collected every imaginable newspaper article and photograph to put in a scrapbook for me, and that's going to be the basis for my comments. Coach, 1969 was your first year. You remember, it was a very unimpressive 3-11, but it was the start of better things to come. With the bumper crop of sophomores to be added, that summer, Findlay won the Acme State Championship. Coach Curlis's second year was much better, ending with a 16-4 record while making it to the AA Ohio State baseball tournament. Even though the Trojans lost in the semis, this year was the beginning of an incredible 3-year run for baseball in Findlay. Coach Curlis all but guaranteed a visit to the state tournament the following year, words that were echoed by several state tournament officials. Again that summer, Findlay won the state Acme tournament. 1971 was the year that it all came together, and I'll detail that in a moment. In 1972, Findlay returned 12 players from the championship team with the high hopes of returning to the championship game. Mission was accomplished when they reached the final game, only to lose. So that summer, 3 college players came back to play American League Baseball to form, in my opinion, one of the best teams the Findlay area has ever seen. Findlay won the district, the state, the Great Lakes regional titles, sending us off to the national tournament in Memphis, where we finished a 3rd place in the tournament and ended up with a 43-6 record. Upon that team's induction into the Hancock Sports Hall of Fame in 1990, I remember being told that nearly every one of the team's starting members went on to play college Division I athletics. I believe that is an amazing accomplishment. Coach Curlis and his assistant coaches were instrumental in the winning ways of these teams. There is, however, one additional person that I would like to recognize. Dick Barron was the coach for Findlay's American Legion teams during this time. He continued the winning ways stood by Coach Curlis and expanded on it. Dick made this at a personal great sacrifice to these teams, even to the point of almost losing his job over it. Tournament play was nonstop during the end of July and August, but Dick had used up all his vacation time, but continued to coach. Now to the 1971 season. Coming off the 70 tournament, expectations for our 71 team was high. We got off to a very rocky start, going 0-4 and 1 tie. We started the season against Lima Senior, ending in a 0-0 tie in a game that was played snow flurries. We lost our next game to Bowling Green before making a trip down I-75, losing a doubleheader to highly regarded Cincinnati Princeton in 2 close games. The next day, we played Hamilton Bay, losing in 10. Our first win of the season was at Fremont. Chuck Rogers had the first of many stellar pitching performances, and Dale Swire and myself both had 2 hits, while Rogers and Carl Wirtz had the key RBIs. We improved to 3-4-1, sweeping a doubleheader from Anthony Wayne. In the first game, Randy Hamlin pitched a 2-hit shutout and also had 3 hits in the game. The second game, Shellin gave up only 4 hits with no earned runs, leading us to a 6-2 win. Bill Scott and Randy Heldman each had 2 hits in this game. We played Lima Senior again, this time losing 2-1, as the Lima pitcher struck us out 15 times. We were only able to get 3 of the hits, 2 of which were by Bill Scott. Chuck lost this pitching duel by only giving up 3 hits. In our next game, we downed Fremont in a slugfest 12-8. We finally started showing some signs of life with 16 hits, as multiple players had 2 each, including Dr. Frank Cosiano, who also scored 3 times, and Randy Hamlin had a home run. What I feel was the turning point of our season, we traveled to Toledo to play a 10-0 Whitmer team. And what had become a common theme for our season, we trailed early. We scored 5 times in the last inning on Randy Hellman's 3-run home run, and then a 2-run hit by Dale Swigert brought our record to 5-5-1. Randy Hamlin pitched us to an 8-2 win over Marion, which featured another offensive explosion. Bill Scott had 3, myself, Dr. Frank Cosiano, Randy Hellman, and Keith Woodruff each had 2, while Dale Swigert also had a home run. Dave Shellin next pitched a 4-hut shutout against Chipping and Columbia as we won 5-0. We played the Buckeye Conference tournaments, beating Marion 7-3 behind Chuck Rogers' 12 strikeout performance. However, in the second game, Fremont avenged 2 earlier losses to us with a 4-2 win. We fell behind early and just couldn't make it up this time. Dave Shellin won his 3rd game of the year, 4-2 against Lake, with 4 hit and 11 strikeout performance. All 4 of our runs were scored in the 3rd inning, dealt by Frank Burke's 2-run triple. Playing Marion for the 3rd time this season featured the return of Roger Stein. Simon had injured his knee in basketball, which did require surgery. All Roger did was throw a 3-hit shutout while getting 2 hits and 2 RBIs in his return. We won 8-0. Dale Swigert had 2 hits and 3 ribbies. We entered the sectional tournament with a 10-6-1 record. Chuck pitched a 3-hit shutout, striking out 11 batters, and beat Salina 10-0. Chuck also had 2 home runs and 4 RBIs, while Dale had 3 hits, including a home run and 3 RBIs. Ken Brooks and Bill Scott each had 2 hits. Dave Shellin won his 4th game of the year. The Trojans beat Mansfield 6-3. We were behind going into the 6th inning, and we scored 4 times. Ken Brooks had 2 hits and 3 ribbies to lead the offense. Facing Marion for the 4th time this year, Chuck won his 5th game of the season with a 4-0 shutout, giving us sectional title. We only had 6 hits in the game, with Randy Hamlin getting 2. We had also turned 3 double plays behind the pitching of Rogers. We lost our final regular season game against Lima Central Catholic, falling behind after the 1st inning and not catching up. Bill Scott had 2 of our 6 hits. We started the district play as 13-7-1 against Tiffin Columbia. Chuck won his 6th game as Finley won 7-2. Keith Woodruff had 3 hits and 2 ribbies in the game, while Randy Hamlin had 2 hits and Rogers had a 2 RBI triple. This win set up a district final against Findlay's sports nemesis at that time, Lima Senior. In the 2 previous matchups, Lima's Dan Hebel and Findlay's Chuck Rogers went toe-to-toe with almost identical results. Findlay caught a bit of a break, though, when Hebel had to pitch 11 innings in their district opener and was not available to pitch this game. Rogers was in fine form with only 2 days rest, giving up 5 hits as we won 3-1. Bill Scott had 2 hits and Dale Swiger swatted a key home run. In the 6th inning, with 1 out, myself and Bill Scott on the bases, Lima decided to throw the ball around the field after a fly out to right field, allowing both runners to score and giving us the victory. We're now 15-7-1 as we started regional play. Chuck Rogers pitched the game, giving up 4 strikeouts, or 4 hits and striking out 10, and also hitting a 3-run home run in the bottom of the 6th to give us a 3-2 victory. In the regional finals, it was Rogers again, as he hit a solo home run in the 6th to lead us to a 1-0 victory over Columbus Eastport, and a successful defense of our 1970 regional title. Roger Stein pitched a shutout Jim, giving 6 hits and 6 strikeouts. In the 5th inning, Eastmore had loaded the bases with nobody out. However, we were able to record an unusual third to catcher to first to catcher double play, and Stein sucked up the next batter as we ended the inning and won the game. Just as Coach Curlis had predicted the previous year, we were back in the state tournament. We're 17-7-1, and we're on a 14-2 roll into that semifinal game. Our opponent in that game was Morton Rusted Reserve, which had beaten Whitmer in their regional final game, preventing a repeat Whitmer-Findlay matchup. Chuck was once again fine form, shutting the reserve out 4-0, 3 hits and 13 strikeouts. However, this time there was a new offensive hero. We only had 2 hits, but the huge one was a 3-run home run by Randy Hamlin in the 4th inning. On a side note, the losing pitcher for Warren ended up being my roommate in Toledo for 2 years. In the championship game, we faced Kettering Fairmont East. Turned out to be a wild ride, with us falling behind early in the game again, trailing 5-3 going into the last inning. The first run in the 7th scored on a couple of errors and the fielder's choice. A walk and another error loaded the bases with 2 outs. As he had done before, Coach Curlis went into his bag of heroes and pulls out another name. Seldom used sophomore Dr. Joe Benjamin, who batted only 5 times all year, ripped a triple on a 3-2 count, scoring all 3 runners. Dave Shellin then followed with the double, and we led 8-5 going into the bottom of the 7th. Fairmont did score 3 runs in the bottom inning to tie the game. Chuck was brought into the game to help squelch the rally. In the 8th, I led off with my 3rd hit of the game. Bill Scott hit a tapper down to the 3rd baseman, who threw the ball into right field and went all the way to the fence. I was able to score, and Scott ended up at 3rd. Bill eventually scored on a sacrifice fly from Rogers. Kettering ended up that game with 6 errors. Rogers set Kettering down in the bottom of the 10th to preserve a 10-8 win for the Trojans. The win was Chuck's 10th of the year, with 6 of them coming in a tournament. Also of note, Coach Curlis used 17 of his 18 players. We finished the season in 1971, became the first ever Division AAA winner in baseball. 10 of our 19 wins, we had to come from behind to win. After the game, several players were asked if Findlay could possibly return to the state the next year. Roger Stein piped up, "We're bound to be back." That team would be returning 12 players from a 71 team. Another prophetic statement was made. We returned to Findlay the next morning to a hero's vote. We were greeted as we approached the state park on Route 68 to car horns, shouting, and lots of signs. Coaches and team members rode in convertibles leading a caravan of an estimated 300 to 355 cars down Main Street, where another estimated 1,000 fans lined the street. At the county courthouse where we met were more fans and dignitaries. Coach Curlis made some comments and then introduced the members of the team. Finally, I would like to give a big thank you to Dale Swiger and his wife, Becky. When it was confirmed just over a week ago that this event was going to be held, Dale and Becky, with the help of Coach Ammons, tracked down each player or family member of the team, informing them of the ceremony. As a result, we have 14 of 16 living members of that team today in attendance. Dale will now introduce the team to bring you up to date with what everyone has done in the last 50 years. Thank you.
Thank you. My wife said, you can't say that about them. You can't say that about them. What the heck are you going to say? Anyway, I better dig right in here. Thank you. I need to know this whole thing. I know the team needs to take infield, so we gotta move this thing along. So I'll get right to it. The composition of our team, 18 members on the roster. It was easy to remember. We had 3, 6, and 9. We had 3 sophomores. We had 6 seniors. We had 9 juniors. 14 are here today. 2 were unable to attend, and 2 are always with us in spirit. You may notice the theme as I go through a brief bio of our roster. Keep the 3 consecutive letters of the alphabet, EFG, in mind when I'm referring to education, family, and giving back. So guys, when I call your name, please stand up and do an alphabetical order. First one's Joe Benjamin, sophomore at that time. Joe Benjamin was a shortstop, outfielder, and pitcher. Dr. William J. Benjamin. He obtained 4 degrees from The Ohio State University. Joe is a tenured professor of optometry and vision sciences at the University of Alabama School of Optometry. He's a senior scientist of UAV Vision Research Science Center. He's the director of the professional program and associate dean of UAV School of Optometry, and many other titles, and too many awards to mention and list right now. So you get the point. Success breeds success. Joe and his wife, Dr. Patricia Benjamin, have a son, Daniel, a materials engineering graduate of Auburn, and a daughter-in-law, Jacqueline, graduate of forensic science from George Washington. Obviously, Joe has a memory of the championship game, his historic hit. The next player is Jude Brockman, sophomore. Jim Brockman is our shortstop and graduated from Morehead State University in '77 with a degree in math and geography. Jim was a 4-year All-Ohio Valley Conference shortstop. 4 years. And in 1996, Morehead State University Hall of Fame inductee. Jim and his wife Lisa have 3 children, Michael, Jason, and Jennifer, and 3 grandsons, Tucker, Sawyer, and River. Jim taught high school math, was an assistant baseball coach, and a youth baseball and basketball coach. Jim's memory moment is in the championship game. Jim was keeping the scorebook with Kevin Spitler. And Jim would trade back and forth with Kevin to change the momentum of that game. That was fun. The next player is junior Kenny Brooks. Kenny Brooks, our catcher. Ken was also an exceptional basketball player and named the 1972 State of Ohio AAA Player of the Year. Ken received a scholarship to play basketball at Ohio State. Kenny later then transferred to the Eastern Michigan University, where he earned his degree in health and physical education. Ken had a career at Pandora Gilboa School, lasting 35 years. He's had 26 as athletic director there, and he was head coach for boys and girls basketball, baseball, softball, and assistant football coach. He is a past assistant University of Finley women's basketball
Carter, Caden, Brooklyn, Harper, and JJ. Ken's memory moment is in the regional tournament that Terry outlined versus Columbus Eastmore. Bases loaded, ball hit to third base, threw back to home. Kenny turns, throws to first base, then first base back to home. Kenny tags the runner out, and we preserve a one-run lead. The next player who's going to be with us today is Frank Smurf. He was a senior. He was an outfielder for us. Frank attended the Air Force Academy. He played both football and baseball. Frank graduated from the University of Wyoming and went into the oil business. Frank and his wife Donna have two lovely daughters, one Rachel, one Margaret. Frank's memory is showing up with a mustache for the official team photos that you might see on the fence right over there. And then that was eventually hung in the high school hallway. Well, Coach Curlis saw what he looked like with that big, long, thick mustache, and Coach Curlis had it airbrushed out of the closet. Frank wasn't happy when he found that out and came to the first class reunion. The next is junior Frank Cosiano, third baseman. Dr. Frank Cosiano completed his undergraduate studies at the University of Notre Dame and then on to Ohio State Medical School. Frank has been a practicing physician in Findlay for 39 years and counting. Frank has been the team physician for Arcadia and Findlay High School for 34 plus years. He's married to his wife Kim, about to celebrate their 30th wedding anniversary. He's a father of three boys, Michael, Paul, and Luke, who play multiple sports here at Findlay High School. Frank also continues to volunteer at numerous community activities. Frank's memory unit is Joe's Big Trip. The next player is senior Randy Hammond. Pitcher at third base. Graduated Bowling Green State University with a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. Randy worked at RCA, General Electric, Harris, Intersil for 26 years. Then Randy began a working career with Warner Automotive and new car sales for 11 years. Randy and his wife Alice have 3 children and 5 grandchildren. Randy coached Little League Baseball for several years, and he currently enjoys travel, golf, and visiting family and friends. Randy's memory moment was his historic 3-run home run in the state semifinal against Warren Western Reserve. Next player is Randy Heldman, senior, shortstop. After graduating from Eastern Michigan University, Randy began his career in the tire industry, working for Hercules Tire and Rubber, and then the Sid Richardson Carbon Company in Fort Worth, Texas. Randy just recently retired in 2020. Randy married his high school sweetheart, similar to me, Kathy, and he currently resides in Wadsworth, Ohio. Randy and Kathy have been blessed with 3 sons who provided them with 7 wonderful grandchildren. Randy fondly remembers his friends and family still residing in Trojan life. Randy played fast pitch softball until age 40, and then continuing his love for baseball and now enjoys golf. Randy's memory moment is our parade downtown, where we had the big car parade. They all greeted us, and then we all went down to the courthouse. 1,000 plus people. Another player that couldn't be here today is Tim Mcguire. Tim Mcguire was our second baseman, and he had a 30-year career with Ashland Oil. But he first started with Bowling Green State University, then he went into the United States Air Force, and then finally graduated from Mississippi College in 1981. Tim just recently retired from Ashland Chemical, and he now lives in Fairhope, Alabama. Tim was actually just here in town last week, so timing was just a little bit off, and he wasn't able to make it back. Otherwise, we would have had 17 here. I'm sorry, 15 or 16. Next player is senior Terry Moore. Second base, no captain. This guy knows how to play baseball. He led the team in batting average, 370. He led the team in runs scored and stolen bases. Terry's talent showed it at an early age, playing American League Baseball at 14 years old. He played for 5 years. That's tremendous. After high school, Terry played 4 years at the University of Toledo, was a 3-year letterman with a solid 250 average. One of his spring trips was to Hawaii, where the University of Toledo played Gonzaga, and a team from wife Jan. Terry and Jan then moved to Colorado Springs, where their son Brian and daughter Kristen were born, and then Terry later returned to Toledo, retiring just in 2019. Terry has 3 granddaughters and 2 grandsons. And Terry also coached travel baseball and softball. Terry's memory unit is winning that Toledo Whitney game in 71 when they were 10-0. The next player is junior Charles Ross. Chuck, would you please stand over? Chuck Rogers, pitcher, outfielder, designated hitter. In 1972, after 3 Final Fours and winning the 1971 state championship in baseball, Chuck received a full scholarship at the University of Up North, where he was a 2-sport athlete in baseball and basketball. Chuck was an all Big Ten pitcher 3 years in a row, while winning 2 Big Ten championship rings in basketball in '74 and baseball in 1975, being named team MVP of the '75 state championship team in baseball, and they went on to the NCAA tournament. Chuck still holds the record for the University of Michigan for the lowest career ERA at 1.75. 1975, Chuck was selected by the Chicago Cubs in the 8th round of the Major League Baseball draft, where he went on to play 10 years of professional baseball before retiring in 1985. Following his athletic career, he worked as a mortgage banker for 23 years, and the last 13 as a financial advisor with New York Life. Chuck is married to his lovely wife Angie, and they have 4 children. He is a former president and current board member of both the Finley Country Club and Kiwanis International. Chuck's an avid golfer, 4-time country club champion. And I know Frank is agree. He enjoys spending time with his family and friends and traveling the country. Chuck's memory moment is coming into the championship game in relief, giving up the tying run, but he still got the backdoor win. The next player, you can say. The next player is David Shellin, Jr., pitcher and outfielder. Miami University graduate, 4-year letterman, and team MVP in 1976. Dave has held various financial management and corporate administrative positions, including 10 years as Landis Crafter Controller. Dave is currently the Chief Financial Officer for Skyline Chili. I'll take a 5 with you. Dave played a season in an over 30 league with Dave Parker. Guys that follow pro baseball, he knows the evil. The year he retired, Dave had the one and only no-hitter of his career with Dave Parker at first base. Dave and his wife Karen have 6 kids, 11 grandkids, number 12 about to arrive at the end of June. Dave's memory moment is coming into the championship game to pitch in the league before last inning comeback and hitting a double following Joe Benjamin's big hit. Dave really wanted to complete the game with his last chuck. Next player is junior Roger Stein, pitcher, third base, catcher. Roger graduated from Newberry College with a BA in math while being a 3-year baseball letter winner and participating in the NAIA World Series. Roger then earned 2 master's degrees, one in management and another in financial services. Roger has been a financial advisor for Lutheran Brotherhood and is currently a financial advisor for Massachusetts. He is a 40-year member of the $1 Million Round Table. Roger and his wife Janet have 2 daughters, Sarah, married to Tony, Susan, married to Jason, and 1 grandson, Adrian. Rogers volunteers time at church and in his community. Rogers' memory moment is the regional final game against Columbus Eastmore. Top of the 6th, bases loaded, batter hits into a double play, scored 5-2, 3-2, Randy to Kenny, to Dale, back to Kenny. Kenny got both outs at the plate, and he just missed a triple play because the batter was safe at first. Chuck hits the home run, Roger gets 3 outs in the 7th, Trojans win 1-0. The next player is sophomore Kevin Spitler, pitcher. Kevin graduated from Wittenberg University, where he played baseball in all 4 years, earning 2 degrees in geography and geology. Kevin began his career in the U.S. Department of the Defense. The highlight of his career was the 3 years, from 98 to 2001, in Hawaii as the senior liaison to the National Imagery and Mapping Agency, now the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency, to the U.S. Commander-in-Chief of the Pacific Command. Twice during those 3 years, Kevin had the opportunity to travel to South Korea and Japan to visit and work with U.S. military units in those countries. He and his wife, Carla, have a son, Cole, who just graduated from the University of Wisconsin. Kevin has volunteered in the community and coached basketball and baseball. Kevin's memory moment is somehow in the championship game, Coach D. Boyer didn't have a jersey. And he needed to have one to be able to coach first base. So he borrowed Kevin. The next day, Coach Boyer's picture gets into the Toledo Blade and is being named Kevin Smith. The next one is me. Junior Dale Swigert, first base, BGSU baseball. 4-year letterman coach out. I was a double major in college of business. My wife was a man. I was recruited for an account executive position with Fortune 100 for a Fortune 100 consumer products company. My competitive baseball led to my success in business. I transitioned to various administrative and executive management positions within the consumer products industry over a 38-year career, retiring in 2016 from a Fortune 50 corporation. I married my high school sweetheart, Becky. We have one daughter. She followed in her father's footsteps as a college volleyball player. She's currently an attorney for the Ohio State University. I volunteered in church and community activities to coach young men's softball, Little League baseball, and FHS freshman baseball. My memory moment is Randy Hamlin's 3-run home run in the state semifinal game held up to a 4-0. The next player is junior Dick Tesnow, outfielder. Dick attended the University of Toledo on a football scholarship, later transferring to the University of Findlay to play football and baseball. Dick was a 2-time all-conference, all-district, best defensive back in the Oilers. Graduated with a degree in health, physical education, and recreation. Dick coached both high school football and girls basketball. He then coached at the University of Findlay as an assistant football coach and head men's freshman. Dick then left coaching and had a 30-year career with the Cooper Tire and Rubber Company as a territory manager. Dick is now a full-time realtor with DRA Mcguire Notes Group right here in Finland. There aren't many houses for sale. Dick is married to his wife, Cindy. Dick's memory moment is in the championship game. Frank Cosiano hit a gapper, and Dick was on first base as a pinch runner. He said I was running as fast as I could, saw a coach waving me home. I knew I was going to score, and that was special. Then it was an extreme satisfaction and joy. The final out showed we were the state champs, a total team effort. And that's Dick Tennis. Next player is Carl Dean Worth, Jr., right fielder, catcher. Carl earned a scholarship to Austin Peay University, Clarksville, Tennessee, as a direct result of the American Legion team's success. Thank you, Dick Barron and his family. After college, Carl entered the working world in the last 20 at Honda of America, retiring just in October of 2020. Carl took up running and has completed 2 Columbus marathons after turning 50. Carl and his wife Cindy have 3 children, Mitchell, Caroline, and Ethan, and 1 grandson. Carl's memory moment is he was brought in to catch late in the final game, and he was so nervous that the umpire had to tell him, son, you're going to have to squat down because I can't see the pitch. That's how nervous Carl was. That was Carl's memory. At this time, we remember 2 of our teammates and 2 student managers who passed away. Teammates Bill Scott and co-captain Keith Woodruff, along with 2 student managers, David Ailes and and Scott Miles. Bill Scott, who's our right fielder. 3-year letterman, 1971, Bill led our team with 6 doubles. Bill attended both Purdue and The Ohio State University. Bill is a self-employed business owner here in Findlay and an avid follower of the University of Findlay athletics, especially men's and women's basketball. Bill passed away June 13th, 2003, age 50. Next one is senior Keith Woodruff, our center fielder and other co-captain with Terry Moore. He was a 3-year letterman in football and baseball. Keith earned a full football scholarship to Ohio University. Upon graduation, Keith went into sales for Union Ford & Co. in Columbus, Ohio. He then worked for Fiskars brand lawn and garden division based in Middleton, Wisconsin. After retiring, and because of Keith's love for wild birds, he began working for Wild Birds Unlimited Nature Shop in Middleton. Keith and his wife Colleen were married 41 years, have 3 children, Laura, David, and Alec, and 2 grandchildren, Noah, who is the current center fielder, just like his grandfather was, for his local high school team, and their daughter, Finna. I had the pleasure to speak with Keith's daughter, Laura, and Becky, my wife, spoke to Colleen, Keith's wife. They both described Keith as a gentle and loving soul who enjoyed studying and watching birds. Keith passed away March 3rd. 2018, 64. Also, student manager David Ale. He passed away July 23rd, 1973. Our other student manager, Scott Miles, passed away September 1st, 2014, age 59. As you've heard, success on the field breeds success off the field. So please remember those 3 letters I spoke earlier, EFG. You will see that education, family, giving back is very important. It's what we've accomplished in the last 50 years. On behalf of the 1971 baseball team members, we sincerely thank everyone associated with this celebration of naming the field in honor of Coach Carlos and recognizing the 50th anniversary of winning the 71 AAA Ohio High School State Baseball Championship. Thanks.
I'll give it back to Nate. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to introduce Mr. Curtis here. I'd like to say a few words.
Thank you. First of all, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out tonight for this great celebration. I know they're not allowing Woody to talk, which is probably a good idea. They might have to postpone the game tonight. So I'd like to say a few words on behalf of Woody and the entire Colonel's family. First off, I'd like to thank Coach Ammons and Athletic Director Dave Wyrow for planning this wonderful celebration today, and also for their hard work and dedication in making this ballpark one of the nicest fields in Northwest Ohio. I'd also like to congratulate these gentlemen up here. I was a 12-year-old kid. These guys were pretty much my heroes back then, so they probably didn't like me running around too much, but that's how it goes. As a family, we have a lot of great memories at this ballpark. Not only watching this great team here and teams through the 70s, but Woody also had 3 grandsons that played out here, and they all had stellar careers here in Findlay, and now they have this field named after their grandpa and our dad. We are truly honored. And as you know, even one of Woody's grandsons is trying to follow in his footsteps. We'll see how that works out. In closing, I would like to wish this year's Trojan baseball team good luck in tonight's game against St. John, and also in the upcoming state tournament. This group of young men have been able to learn a little bit of the rich baseball tradition and history here at FHS this week. And hopefully they can go out and make some history of their own. So good luck, guys.
Thank you. Thank you to all the speakers, to Mara for her continued support of Findlay athletics and Trojans baseball. And if I may echo the infamous words from the legend, Mr. Chuck Rogers, who of which accumulated a career record of 28-5, 18-1 in the postseason alone. We're in the final inning of the 1971 state championship game, told Mr. Ken Brooks, just give me the ball. From this ball, the success of Trojan baseball and Findlay athletics has been given to each of our future and current Findlay Trojans. And we are forever grateful for Coach Boyer, the athletes, and Coach Curlis for helping to lay this solid foundation for Findlay Trojan athletics and Findlay baseball. Thank you. At this time, we welcome each of you to stay for our contest this evening and celebrate Coach Curlis and the success of Findlay Trojans baseball and your 1971 OHSA State AAA champions, the Findlay Trojans. Thank you.